Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? Episode number 421. Drink It Till You podcast, the only podcast that lasts until the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. I'm not sure why I cracked open 2 beers already. I haven't finished either one of them. I barely even touched it. I kind of had a few sips. I guess my mind was on other stuff. I don't know. But I had a few sips off the top, looking over the notes before this episode started. And dude, it really just took me back, honestly. I haven't had a Lone Star in I don't know, it's been years. It's been years, but it really took me back to playing in clubs. All the years of my life I spent playing music in clubs. And not only myself playing, but following bands around Texas or even up into Oklahoma. I remember one time we went to see a band in Dallas, me and my friend, and I was like, you know what, I'm off of work tomorrow. I was asking my friend, are you off of work tomorrow? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you want to go watch the show up in Oklahoma? We can drive up there tonight. They'll be driving up there tonight, and we'll, we can just watch it. She was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. So that's what we did. And not only that, on top of that, playing music for so many years and kind of meeting people over the years and stuff, there was a whole crew in Wichita, Kansas that I was, in contact with. We'd played house shows when my band would come through Wichita, and they knew all the hot spots to play and the bands to play with and, all this and that. And I found out they were going to the Oklahoma show too. I was like, dude, this would be great. I get to see them. It's been a while. I get to go with my friend that came with me to this. It was just great. And when you get there, what am I going to buy? Am I going to spend my money on a Stella Artois? No, I'm going to buy a Lone Star, man. It's reasonable. Isn't that sad, though? That's the fanciest beer I can think of is a Stella. But, yeah, it's all I know. I mean, that's the fanciest one I know. If you guys have a better one for me, let me know. But, yeah, I mean, it just keeps you in the game. I will forever be loyal to the brands like Lone Star and brands like PBR. And like I said, just having a sip of it really took me back. So anyway, to stop my babbling, let's go ahead and have our first sip of the episode. If you got 'em, drink 'em. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. Dude, and I mean, come on. For the price, that is really good. That is really good. There's a reason I'm not sitting here drinking an Anheuser-Busch product right now. You know what I mean? I guess I could have got... Is Busch Beer part of Anheuser? Is Keystone part of... I don't know. I don't know who makes those. I could have gone a little bit cheaper, but this is for the money, you're getting something great, man. This just reminds me of being down in Deep Ellum. 3 Links. Chilling, watching, Normally I'd have a couple of beers and I'd take a shot of Tullamore Dew. But yeah, dude, I'm all about the value, man. This is awesome. I forgot how I might start drinking these on this podcast from now on, because it takes me back, and it's really not a bad flavor at all. It's delicious. It's like cream soda over here. But anyways, we got a little bit to talk about. NASCAR was on today. They are back. What else? As you know, the Winter Olympics are going on. I have not paid attention nearly enough. A little upset at myself about that. We're going to do some bookmarks, some Twitter bookmarks, some good stuff I've been saving. That kind of falls into the category of videos, pictures of the week kind of thing. But first, I have to address it, and I'm not going to go in depth. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to do any of that. But I did have a friend ask me, they know I do the podcast. They know I've been doing it for a while. And, I have a modest platform here, I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan. I'm not trying to, be the number one podcast. I don't even advertise for this thing, you guys. I really don't. My last Facebook post was probably years ago. But, that's not the point. The point is the creative outlet. That's what I love about it. But anyways, they asked me, with everything going on in the world, all the things that are coming to light, are you going to talk about it on your podcast, your next episode? I'm like, absolutely not. That's not why I started this podcast. It's never been political. It's never been, I guess the only stance I've ever taken on this podcast is like my hard stance is like the don't drink and drive thing. And I absolutely wholeheartedly believe in that. Don't drink and drive. We got too many resources, blah, blah, blah. Don't be a moron, That's really the hardest stance I've ever taken. I've never gone political on it. I've never talked about atrocities, anything like that. But that stuff can't exist here, in my opinion. Outside of this, absolutely. Absolutely. Will I, stand up for what is right 100%. I mean, I have kids. I worry about their future. I worry about the way the world is going. But here, this isn't the place. You know what I mean? So I won't be talking about that. Do I think the things that are coming out are horrific? Absolutely. Absolutely. I would never disagree with that. I would never side with those evil people. But, you see these like influencers and stuff. I saw this guy come out today. He's probably, I can only assume some workout guy, some guy who spends his life in the gym, which I'm not hating on him. If that's your thing, that's what you like to do, so be it. Happy for you. More power to you. This is the anti that. This podcast, this is like sit on your ass and drink beer and eat nachos. You know what I mean? Like this has nothing to do with health. But anyways, but he was like, if you have a platform and you don't say anything, you're just complicit. And it's like, no, bro, that's not it. I guarantee you, when you start your activism, you can reach way more people, or at least just speaking from my experience and my personal, my thing I have going on here, I can reach way more people going outside of this and doing it on my own. You know what I mean? Like petitioning your government, so to speak, and asking for arrests and, we got to band together as the people. That's the one thing I do want to say. We got to band together as the people to get this bullshit out. But anyways, I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to go any more in depth than that. You guys know what's going on. I don't need to sit here and fucking, and say it. There's no reason for that. This isn't the only way you can be powerful, I guess. My fucking, I don't know, 100 downloads for this episode. It's like, what difference is that going to make? I guarantee you, with me and 500,000 other people pushing on government to make change, something happens. You know what I mean? So anyways, I didn't want to get too deep into that. I just wanted to speak on it real quick. That kind of stuff, I don't want to let it breathe. It's not going to breathe on this podcast. It won't. This is my shit. So anyways, with that said, let's have another drink. Sorry if that was a little bit of a Debbie Downer to start this episode, but let's have another drink, and we'll move on to NASCAR. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. Dude, you know what's amazing, though? Let me just say this real quick. I've been drinking, like, seltzers and stuff. You guys have heard me, drinking the White Claws and stuff, and I do like those. But this is just, like, I don't know, drinking this now, this Lone Star, I should be drinking this, like, a lot more. You know what I mean? As flavorful and, like, cherry and lime and fruity and fun as they make the seltzers and less calories. Dude, this beer is fucking... I'm sorry, this beer is kicking its ass. This White Claw does not stand up to a beer, I will say that. But anyway, yeah, so today, NASCAR, the Daytona 500, they're finally back. Let's go, Christopher Bell. So excited for it today, man. I'm just, this feeling that I have where I'm like anticipating the event all week, knowing the Daytona 500 is coming up on Sunday. This is the feeling I was looking for in college football when I jumped from bandwagon to bandwagon to bandwagon to bandwagon over the course of 5 years. This is the like adrenaline I was looking for. You know what I mean? Like college football, I'm not hating on it if you're into it, and at some points I do get it. So at some points it is, in a way, better than professional football. The drum line, all that performative stuff they do in between, that shit is awesome. Even like the drum line in the stands, as the game's going off. I remember being in high school, and the like call and answer between the drum lines, across the stadium was just like such a interactive kind of fun thing. You know what I mean? So I totally get the atmosphere, and I've been to like a TCU game before. I've been to a Texas A&M game before, and these were in my like younger years. I'm like a teenager when I'm going to these. But I so wanted to get into college ball, and I just couldn't do it. But man, NASCAR has just come out of nowhere in my life, and I'm really all about it. So anyways, with what happened today, I have 3 drivers that I really, since last season, I've been keeping an eye on, that I really actually do love. And I didn't plan it out this way. I didn't plan to have a Toyota driver and a Ford driver and a Chevy driver. I know they have their various teams amongst those brands of car, but I really didn't plan out to have, one of each. That wasn't the initial plan. It's just really watching last season and seeing how they performed. Obviously, like when I started, I was like, Christopher Bell's my guy. There's something about him that I just really like. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I love to watch him drive. And last season, he just sold me so easily, dude. Like I have a Christopher Bell shirt now. Like I want to get a jacket. I want to get a DeWalt Christopher Bell, like yellow, like I drive a NASCAR racing jacket. That would be so cool. I have a Christopher Bell like plaque on my desk at work. It's crazy. It's crazy how like deep I got so quick, but it hooked me, and I am hooked. I'm so hooked right now. But anyways, what happened today? Huge wreck. There was a smaller wreck earlier in the race. I don't know, lap 20, 25, 30, something like that. Then there was another small wreck a little bit after that. And then the huge wreck happened. Out of the 3 drivers that I root for, all 3 were DNFs. All 3 did not finish. And it was that third big wreck that happened today that really just took them all out. Well, no, that's not true, because Blaney, and I'll give you the rankings. Christopher Bell was my first. I'm like, he is my number 1 top driver, top dog of all time, until he messes it up, which I can't see anything that he would do to mess it up. He's just an awesome driver. So it goes Christopher Bell, it goes Blaney, and then it goes Bowman. So it's Toyota, Christopher Bell, Blaney is the Ford driver, and Bowman is the Chevy driver. And I swear to God, I didn't plan it that way. It's just kind of funny how it worked out. But all 3 of my drivers did not finish today, so that fucking sucked. Yeah, huge wreck. It took out so many people. You were lucky to get through. Nobody injured as far as I know. But, it just sucks. That's the big one. That's the one you want to, get off on the right foot. And, all 3 that I was rooting for are out. So, that kind of sucks at the start of the season, especially for, like, building points. Like, they accumulate no points. But after that third big wreck that happened, Blaney was still in it from what I could tell. There was a little bit of confusion. I couldn't exactly tell which of my... I know for sure Bowman, the number 48 Ally car, purple, in that third big wreck, he wasn't coming back. I think maybe Bell was in that big thing too, so he did not finish, but I specifically remember Blaney was still good to go after that. So out of my 3 drivers, it was like Blaney was the only one like hanging in there. And come to find out, I didn't actually finish the race. I got distracted with other stuff I had to do. But Blaney did not finish either. So, none of my drivers get points. That's a hell of a way to start the season, in the hole, so to speak. But it was still, like I said, the atmosphere, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I can't believe like a fan of NASCAR. They didn't even have to do anything. They just like have a product, and I'm like, I love that. It's really fun. all the strategy. I will say road courses are not, I like the oval tracks, man. Like, I know it seems stupid and boring and left turn and the old thing everybody always makes fun of NASCAR for, left turn and left turn and left turn. Dude, there is so much more to it than that. So much more. You just really have to watch it to understand. And not only, it's not just about the driver. I mentioned this about a couple of weeks ago, like, I can't remember which NHL team. I think it was the Bruins. I'm pretty sure it was the Bruins. But one of the equipment guys had to fix one of the players' skates, so he could get back out there, and it's like time's winding down in the game. It's like late third period. I mean, I'm talking like under a minute. And this guy's back there, and he fixes the player's blade, whatever he has to do, because like they're pretty like interchangeable now. It seems like they can just like kind of like you would do a NASCAR, get it out of there, get the new one in, zip it in, and they're good to go. Well, he did that, and that guy he fixed the blade of went out on the ice with like time dwindling down and scored the game-winning goal. It was like that, to me, was like, that's something you don't think about a lot of the time, is how much a part of the team the equipment guy is, the water guy is, obviously you think about the medical staff, they're a big part of the team in case someone gets hurt or, you need some injury nursed or whatever. But you just don't, you don't think about them competing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And what I'm equating this to is obviously like the pit in NASCAR and the whole team they have to have of guys who change the tires, who fuel the car, who, do all this special stuff. Not only that, you have to strategize. Like there was that race last year, which I loved. They had 2 sets of soft tires for the drivers, and then they had 4 sets of regular tires, just regular tires. And you just, as a team, you had to like collectively go, okay, this is the strategy. This is what's going to work. We're going to have the soft tires here. We're going to have the hard, regular tires here. And it's just like all the behind the scenes. You're only seeing the cars taking lefts, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You're only seeing the going in circles and like, this is boring and what the hell is this? But there is so much underneath the surface. I mean, between the drivers, between the teams, I guess they don't really stick up for their brand of car. But it seems like usually a team like Joe Gibbs Racing, they only have Toyotas. They don't have a Toyota, a Ford, and a Chevy. They stick with one brand. But yeah, dude, it's so in depth and there's so much to it. And like, the driver just has to be spot on. And as much as I don't like the road courses, I will say that's a whole other level of like the driver shifting down and slowing down, but then speeding up. And then you add the other elements that I just talked about, the team changing the tires, the team fueling up the car, and you have to do it under a certain amount of time if you want to be, one of the best. It's amazing. We don't really think about the guy fixing the skate on the bench competing with the other guy on the bench fixing his player's skate. You know what I mean? But they are competing, which is a beautiful thing. They're like the unsung heroes. It's a little more obvious in NASCAR because they all have to stop and do the stuff and have the team work on it's less obvious in hockey. So anyways, so none of my drivers finish is basically what I'm trying to say, which sucks. But, it is what it is. I didn't lose any money. I don't bet on this shit. I just, I want my guys to win or do really well. If Bell can't win, he's my number one, then I want it for Blaney. And if Blaney can't win, I want it for Bowman. You know what I mean? So, just a clusterfuck today. They're going so fast, dude, and they're packed in there so tight. One little whoopsie doodle and the whole field is gone, bro. Like, it was insane. I'm like, man, what do you do? What are you supposed to do? I mean, I think it was Bowman who literally got like pit maneuvered by another car, and they spun his ass around. And so he's facing oncoming traffic, like rolling backwards. He's not like he's pushing the gas or anything. He doesn't have any choice. He's rolling backwards, and here comes another car that was in the wreck, and they smash into him. Dude, it was just absolute insanity. But makes for great TV, makes for good watching. So I appreciate it, man. I love it. So let's have another drink. Cheers, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and get into... as I bump the microphone, I don't know. I think the men beat Germany today. USA men beat Germany. There was Tom Wilson and some Frenchman kind of scrap that I saw on Twitter. And man, I gotta say, that Frenchman, dude, he ripped Wilson down to the ground like he was nothing. And of course, that pissed Wilson off, and he gets up after the fact and comes back after the guy. And the refs are falling all over themselves. It's fucking awesome. Chaos. And I just learned this about Olympic hockey. That's actually like really, the penalties are really strict for fighting. So I actually think it saved them that they didn't actually throw any punches. They grabbed each other's sweaters really hard. But there was like, I didn't really see any. It was more of a wrestling match on skates. But yeah, I don't know who that big Frenchman was, but he sure did pull Wilson down to the ice, which Wilson got up and he was pretty irate. But I don't know if that constitutes a fight. I don't know if that constitutes like we can fine them over this, because they didn't really throw any punches, you know what I mean? Which, you know, say what you want about Olympic hockey. You know, it is awesome. I do love, you know, people fighting for their country and playing for their country, and not fighting necessarily. Playing for their country and the pride that comes along with that. But the fighting thing is just, I would never want to watch that style of hockey like consistently. It's great for the Olympics, and I understand why they do it. But yeah, dude, give me some fucking NHL. Give me some goalie fights. Like that would be, it's awesome when that shit happens, you know? Even just a regular fight. It doesn't even have to be a goalie fight. But they penalize them so harshly in the Olympics. It's like guys normally just don't do that. The Four Nations that wasn't Olympic hockey. So there was a little bit different ruling to that one, clearly, when the U.S. came out and started it wasn't even about playing hockey. It was just about fighting the Canadian team. It's like there's like 3 fights when the game first started or some shit like that last year, or for the Four Nations. But yeah, I don't like that part. I see people on Twitter like complaining about, you know, they're like, oh, finally I can watch a hockey game without all the advertisements on the boards like in the NHL. I'm like, dude, that's what you're concerned about? Are you really a hockey fan? You're concerned about advertisements? Oh, I can't, they're distracting me. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're just like finding something to be irritated about. It's so stupid. I've never given a shit what advertisements they do or don't have on the boards. I don't care. I'm not watching that. I'm not looking at that. Who gives a shit? It's just like people are just so quick to make a fucking stand over nothing. Nothing. Advertisements? That's the hill you're gonna die on, bro. Advertisements. Oh, Olympic hockey is superior because I don't have to look at advertisements. Like, you're a fucking pussy. Sorry. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? This supposedly is like a hard man sport, and it's like your eyeballs are disrupted from watching the puck. It's like, shut up. You're such a bitch. You're such a bitch. I'm sorry to say it like that. You're a bitch for complaining about advertising. It's just so many. And I love that hockey is growing. I love that it's reaching more people than ever. I love all the new fans that are coming, you know, around to NHL hockey and tweeting about it and talking about it, and you know, they get the excitement around it. But it's like, I don't know. It's in some ways it's like it's not a great thing, you know. It's like everybody's just Disney-fying it, or like, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's really weird. But anyways, looking at Winter Olympic medal count, because I'm not really going to dig into the hockey. That does not say Olympic. That says Ilyich. Let's see. Norway. Olympic. Norway leads the medal count with 26 total. Get the fork out of here. No way. I typed this horribly. Olympic medal count. All right, here we go. All right, so Google was not lying just now. Norway is leading the way with 26 medals total. We'll get into the breakdowns later. Italy, second place with 22. The good old US of A, 17 overall. After that, Netherlands 11, Sweden 11, France 15, Germany 15, Austria 13. Now, who has the most gold? Yeah, so Norway has the most, 12 gold. Italy has 8 gold. USA, Netherlands, Sweden are tied at 5 gold. Norway is also, well, they're number 2 in silver. USA is leading in silver with 8. Then Norway at 7. Tied with France at 7 for silver. Let's move on to bronze. Italy has 10 bronze. They're leading the way. Norway has 7. After that, it's Germany with 5, and then it goes down from there. But yeah, I think the USA men beat Germany today, which is good. The men are looking good. I mean, for as good as the men are looking, the women are just... They shut out. I forgot. It's like, I think they played Canada. I'm pretty sure our women played the Canadian women. They shut them out like 5-0. You'll have to fact check me on that one. It might have been a different team, but either way, the women are fucking rocking and rolling, man. Our USA, it just seems like our women's sports are just top fucking tier, man. Not only in the hockey, but like, yeah, soccer. Like, our women are just fucking beasts. I don't think they won it the last time they were playing. But, I mean, yeah, our women have been on top of it for a good while. So, good showing there. It's going to come down to it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, go America. Go USA. Let's get some more gold. Let's take the medal count lead. You know, it's possible. We can do it. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I really haven't watched enough of it. I've really only seen it in passing and highlights and stuff. But I do really love the Winter Olympics. It is my favorite amongst the Olympics. The summer is cool. Like, I love track. I love field, all that stuff. You know, but speed skating, holy shit, that's awesome. Which I haven't watched. The last guy I remember is I almost said Yoko Ono. What is that fucking guy's name? Oh my God. I don't remember, but he was a badass American speed skater. Was it Ono? Uno? I can't remember. Damn it. But yeah, I love the speed skating. What is the luge or something? Oh God. Did you see the fucking drama with the I'm thinking of the wrong name of the sport. The curling. Is that curling on the ice with those? They have to get that granite for those pieces from a specific part of the world. There's only one company that makes that granite. And it has to be a specific type because it's like the strongest or whatever. When it bumps another part, you know, sliding across the ice, they won't break. But yeah, there's like one company that makes all of those for like all of Olympic curling. I think it's curling. What is curling? But yeah, there's okay, yeah, so it is the curling. But yeah, the Swedish team was calling out the Canadians men's team for like putting that extra finger out to give, I don't know what you call that thing that they're sliding across the ice. Granite stone, polished granite stone, 42-pound polished granite stone. But yeah, he's like putting a finger out. And I saw, this is kind of going into my bookmarks for Twitter here, which I'm getting to next. But it showed the picture of Michelangelo. You know, he's kind of got his, like, some kind of cloth draped around his body, you know, covering him up a little bit. He's like reaching out. I said Michelangelo. Michelangelo is the one who fucking painted it. I can't think of who the painting is of. But it shows his finger reaching out. And at the end of it is one of those granite stones, which is basically what I don't know, you just have to say, you've probably already seen it. But yeah, it's pretty funny. They're already trolling. And the dude, I never know why people don't say this more often. The Swedish dude said the perfect thing in the moment. The Canadian guy was like putting up a fight about it and like, oh, what? I'm not cheating. Fuck off. You know, basically whatever. And this Swedish guy's like smiling. He's like, I'll show you in the highlights later what you were doing. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, dude, we're all on camera. You're not going to get away with this shit. So I don't know if anything came of it. It was just a funny interaction. But yeah, to go ahead and start my bookmarks without taking a drink, that's one of my bookmarks. It's an epic picture. Let's go ahead and have another drink. Cheers. All right, that one's done for. Let's see. Next bookmark. I mean, yeah, there's some research being done here in these bookmarks that I won't get into, obviously, like I said earlier. Oh, I love this video. This is from, they at least retweeted it. You know, you'll have like shredded cheese, you're making tacos or something. You always like kind of dip in your thumb and your index and your middle finger. You just kind of get a little pinch of cheese and put it in your mouth. Well, this young boy sitting in his high chair took it to a whole other level. This is on Twitter, at NESSAKINS _Nessikins _. But this little boy has a cheese grater and he's like tilting his head back and he's grating the cheese like right into his mouth in his high chair, which is fucking hilarious. It's like, well, you know, as a parent, you're like, why did you give a child a cheese grater? That's kind of dangerous. But he just loves cheese so much, he just is going directly into, like, all over his shirt. You know, some's getting in his mouth, some's getting on the high chair, and he's just like, it's normal. It's so fucking awesome. So there's one. Let's move on. I didn't know this. You guys know I love like digging into movies. CinemaSins is one of my favorite movie YouTube channels where they basically, I know these people love these movies that they're critiquing, but they take it to the extreme and like absolutely destroy these movies that are like classic movies, you know what I mean, that everybody supposedly loves, but they'll point out all the inconsistencies, which I think is great, because no matter how great of a movie it is, it's gonna have fuck-ups. You're gonna see the boom mic in a shot that you don't want to, that the editor forgot to, whatever, you know. So I love little factoids like that. But here's one revolving around the Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze Batman movie that was just an absolute joke. So easy to make fun of. I mean, they could not come up with original anything original for him to say. Like, you already knew what he was gonna say when he walks in with his freeze gun. He goes, freeze, and it's like, dude, that's the best dialogue you could come up with. Like, but you know, at the same time, I know it was meant to be like comic booky and cheesy and, you know, all this stuff. So it kind of works for that movie, but it is really fucking stupid. So anyways, it says here, a little factoid: Arnold Schwarzenegger pays Warner Brothers $1 every year to legally keep his Mr. Freeze costume from Batman and Robin 1997. The studio still owns the suit, but this $1 annual agreement lets Arnold keep the iconic outfit as a part of his personal collection. Now, I thought that was really cool, because despite all the contrived dialogue in the movie, the suit is pretty fucking badass, dude. And if he has the gun too, yeah, like that's pretty cool. What else? I don't know if you guys saw this. Somebody came out. I mean, AI is doing just the most right now. Somebody came out with Seinfeld, like, action figure characters. So Seinfeld's holding an axe, and he looks like He-Man. Kramer's holding a sword. George has got a mace. And Elaine's got, like, a staff with a shield. It's pretty amazing. Dude, if those were real, I would buy those toys. Those are so free. I mean, not only do I love the show Seinfeld, but those toys remind me of every toy I played with when I was a kid. A Ninja Turtle toy, a Hercules toy. That's who Seinfeld reminds me of. He kind of looks like He-Man, but he reminds me of my Hercules toy when I was a kid. But yeah, dude, I would totally buy these and display them. That's freaking awesome. I love that. You know, for everything bad or weird AI is going to do, it's going to do some cool stuff too, right? And the last one I have for you is, I love this because if you've ever owned a cat, then you know, like, they can be just mischievous. They'll fuck with you in the middle of the night. You know, they get the zoomies out of nowhere. It's like 2 a.m. It's like, dude, I gotta work the next day. Like, you don't. You're gonna sit here and, like, shit in your litter box and eat the food that I buy for you. But you're keeping me up at like 2 a.m. So, one of the videos is the cat is, like, cleaning himself, and the owner keeps, like, putting his hand in between the cat, licking its own fur, and he annoys the cat so much. Like, you can't see the video, obviously, but the owner annoys the cat so much that by the third time the owner does it, the cat just looks up into the sky, and the only noise I could imagine that it would make, if it could make this noise, it'd be... Everybody knows that noise. The disappointment sigh and the way the cat and this isn't AI, bro. This isn't AI. The way the cat looks up like, oh my God, like, leave me alone. I'm trying to do something is so fucking funny. Because cats will do anything to disrupt what you got going on. No problem. Anytime. Not a big deal. You know what I mean? You thought you were going to wear those dress shoes to work today, sir? Guess what? You're about to step on a turd. So anyways, there are some videos of the week / bookmarks. And that's going to do it for me for the episode. Thank you guys for listening. As always, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a Waymo if they can ever start it in Dallas. I'd love to use one. Take one to a bar and take one back home, so I don't have to drink and drive. Just be safe out there. Get yourself a DoorDash and Uber Eats. They'll bring you the booze. Let's go ahead and finish off this last beer. Cheers, everybody. All right. That's going to do it for me. I will talk to you all next week. I love you all. Bye.